This is Bob Guerrero of New Concept Video Sports. And this evening, boys basketball, a Duneland Conference opener when the 9-1 Portage Indians host the 9-2 Valparaiso Vikings. The Valparaiso Vikings traditionally are one of the heavy hitters in the Duneland Athletic Conference year in and year out. Since Barack Coleman took over as the head man of the Valparaiso Vikings, now in his 7th season, he has compiled double-digit wins, with most of the scheduled games on the Viking card are 4A schools. The Vikes have a good mixture of seasoned veterans in Brees Walls, Mason Jones, and Blaine Dalton, with some young talent on the horizon. If you play the Vikings during the year, you'll have your work cut out for you. Brian Klaus, in his first season with the Portage Indians, have already left his mark with the team that's sporting a 9-1 record, and one of the reasons we're here this evening. Brian Klaus also has an impressive resume, coaching at Lake Station, where he compiled double-digit wins in 4 of 6 seasons and 5 of 9 at Hanover Central. A big turnaround for this Portage club, who is gaining a lot of respect from area coaches and teams with every game played. And the Indians, like their counterpart on this evening, have a heavy 4A schedule. Portage has their share of talent, with veterans Kamari Slaughter, Primo Duvalier, and Blake Creech carrying the load. You can also throw in promising freshman Garrett Clark, who also plays a lot of minutes. Next, the 9-1 Portage Indians do battle with the 9-2 Valparaiso Vikings. Remember, you can download this game and any other sporting event for free the day they're posted. It's New Concept Video Sports' way of supporting the student athlete. We hope you enjoy this 16-minute commercial-free highlight reel. Each team had a couple possessions and nothing so far. Then, with a minute gone in the period, senior Brees Walls, on a nice crossover, drove to the hoop and dropped in a tough shot. Our first points of the evening. Again, the Indians came away with nothing, and the Vikings are in possession. Then a pass down low to junior Mason Jones, who was fouled and will head to the line. Once again, Portage comes away empty, and the visitors are on the run, leading by a couple possessions. This time, the Vikings moved the ball around until it once again found the hands of senior Blaine Dalton, who locked it on a tray and buried it. Back down quickly came the Indians. Then an accidental trip left senior Blake Creech open for a moment. Next, a pass followed by a spin move, a tough shot, and the basket. A one and done for Valparaiso, and Portage is on the attack. And taking it to the hole was junior Kamari Slaughter, collecting the foul, and he will have a pair from the line. Then it was up and down the court a couple times until Brees Walls took it hard to the basket for the end one. Over a minute went by without a score, and the Indians with the basketball. Then a loose ball that was picked up by freshman Garrett Clark, who found Kamari Slaughter under the basket, and he laid it in softly off the glass. Then, with under 2 minutes to play in the slow-scoring first quarter, the Vikings had the basketball. Then a pass in the post to senior Jack Kuka, who hooked it in nicely. But the Indians answered at the other end, when junior Terrell Kraft took the pass in the paint and deposited the deuce. With under a minute to play and Portage with the basketball trailing by 4, a baseline shot bounced off the rim. But there skying for the rebound and cleaning it up for the Indians was senior Primo Devaldier with the basket and one. Then with seconds remaining and the Indians with the ball again, Kamari Slaughter drove to the paint, then kicked it out to Garrett Clark and nothing but the bottom of the net. So far, it's what we expected. The second quarter is next. The Indians had possession to begin the second and held the ball for almost a minute. Then three nice passes ended with a Terrell Kraft basket. Valparaiso answered on their first possession when freshman Jack Smiley dropped in a baseline shot over his defender. Next time down for the Indians, a Devaldier pass to Blake Creech, then a blocked attempt. But there scooping it up and dropping in the long deuce was Garrett Clark, extending the Portage lead. Grabbing the rebound on the missed shot was Kamari Slaughter, who proceeded to knock down the tray. And right now the Indians are playing with a lot of confidence. Then a minute and a half went by before the next points were scored, when Garrett Clark took the pass in the corner, and all of a sudden, a double-digit lead for the home team. A near turnover for Valparaiso, but recovering the ball was Brees Walls. Then a couple passes later, a shot attempt, and a Portage foul will send Mason Jones to the stripe. Following unsuccessful trips by each team, the Vikings were in possession. Then a three-point shot that bounced high off the rim. Once again, going up and grabbing the rebound was Primo Devaldier. And while falling down, somehow got the ball to Garrett Clark, and he flung it to an open Kamari Slaughter. And a great play all around. On the Vikings' next set, Mason Jones drove the lane and somehow hooked the ball around his defender and into the hands of senior Adler Hazlitt, and the Vikings needed that. Down for the Indians and playing big so far this first half was freshman Garrett Clark taking the pass, driving the baseline, and dropping in the teardrop. A Valparaiso turnover gave the ball back to Portage, and on one of the easier points of the evening thus far, when Garrett Clark found Kamari Slaughter, who beat his defender, and a 30-17 Portage lead. Still leading by a baker's dozen and seconds remaining, the Indians have the basketball, and it was freshman Garrett Clark dropping in the tray as time ran out, and a 16-point halftime lead for the Portage Indians. The second half is next. Trailing by double digits to open the second half, the Vikings were in possession. Then taking the pass and driving into the paint, and on the stop and shoot it was Blaine Dalton with the basket. A quick one and done for the Indians, and back come Valparaiso. Then it was Brees Walls driving to the basket and being fouled on the shot. Next for Portage, a Slaughter pass to Blake Creech and the Indian bucket. Still trailing by 15, the Vikes have the ball, and it was Reese Walls backing into the paint and almost losing his balance before dumping it off to Blaine Dalton, who took it strong to the basket for the end of one. With under 5 minutes left in the third and still leading by 12 and with the basketball, a steal by Viking Blake Dalton, and the Indian lead is down to 10. Following missed opportunities at each end, Valparaiso had the ball. Then a Blaine Dalton drive and foul will send the Vikings guard to the line for a couple. Since the beginning of the period, the Vikes have cut the lead in half and now trail by only 8. Then a drive by Jack Smiley for the basket and one. Leading by only 5 all of a sudden, the Indians needed to stop the bleeding, when on their next set, some crisp passing ended with a Blake Creech basket and one. Next time down for Valparaiso, Brees Walls was able to bounce in the mid-range jumper. Then on this next sequence, and still being pressured, the Indians fired off 4 passes with the ball never hitting the ground that ended with a Blake Creech basket. Next for the Vikes, a pass to Mason Jones, who faked, then drove to the hoop and laid it in. With Kamari Slaughter on the dribble, he was able to draw enough attention, leaving Terrell Kraft all alone under the basket. Then one pass later, and the Portage Jr. was able to drop in the needed points. Next time down for Valparaiso, a shot that wouldn't fall. A fight for the rebound that was grabbed by Brees Walls. Next, a bounce pass to Mason Jones and the hoop. Following 3 periods of play from Portage High School, we have a ball game, with the Indians leading the Vikings by only a half dozen. The exciting fourth quarter is next. The first tally of the fourth came at the 6:30 mark when Valparaiso senior Michael Flynn took the pass at the top of the key and buried it, cutting that 6-point lead to 3. The Indians were able to get a couple of those points back when Kamari Slaughter moved the ball up quickly before dumping it off to Blake Creech in the basket. For the Vikes, a shot down low that wouldn't fall. But a second chance opportunity ended with an Adler-Haslett trade, and the 16-point halftime lead is down to 2. For Portage, a one and done, and the Vikes have a chance to tie or take the lead in this one. Then a Brees Walls drive and a foul will send the Valpo senior to the line, and a chance to make this a new ball game. But the Indians recaptured the lead when Kamari Slaughter drove to the basket drawing traffic, then dumping off to Blake Creech and the score. Then with 3 minutes to play, it was Brees Walls in the paint, and the game is tied again. Then with under a minute to go, the Indians have the ball out from the side, still tied at 46. Then a foul on Garrett Clark, putting the freshman on the line for a double bonus. For the Vikings, it was Mason Jones with a nice play down low, grabbing the block shot and putting it in for the score. And now Valparaiso leads by the slimmest of margins. Then with 13.6 seconds left in this one, Portage could have the final shot. But on the inbound, the ball slipped through the hands of Kamari Slaughter and grabbed by junior Connor McCall, who was fouled, and will have a double bonus from the line and a chance to make this a three-point game. Then with 4.5 seconds on the clock and trailing by 3, the Indians will have a chance to tie. Finally, a shot that was off the mark, and this game is history. The tale of two halves, the first belonging to the Indians, who lead by 16 at the break, and the second, a huge comeback victory for the visitors. But this is a year each of these teams are equally talented and well-coached as the other. And a few missed free throws down the stretch for Portage could have made the difference. Congratulations to Barack Coolman and the Valparaiso Vikings on their come-from-behind victory here tonight. Thanks in part to the staff here at Portage High School for their hospitality, and we'll see you next time. For New Concept Video Sports, this is Bob Guerrero.